Bonjour and welcome to another new comic book day to all of you comic book geeks, readers and collectors. Not the biggest of weeks, you know what I'm like. I'll call it as I see it. It wasn't the biggest of week. If I had a huge bag like Santa, I would tell you, but it wasn't. So I have kind of stretched it out a bit. But do you know what? What that means is that I have got quite an eclectic mix here. I've got Boom, Dynamite, Marvel, Image, DC, Distillery. They're all in there. And it is my top 10 comics of the week. And I'm going to do a deep dive on 5 of those after my little homemade scroll. And that's where all the spoilers will be. If you've never been here before, if you have, welcome back. You know who I'm looking at. You know I see you, my sexy subscribers. Welcome back. If you're not, if you want to be sexy, then subscribe. It's as simple as that. Going to do a deep dive on my top 5, showing you some sensational artwork here. Some of it's funny, it's violent, it's emotional. It's got it all in my deep dive this week. I've got to say, it's a really strong top 5. Right at the end, and this is all chapterized so you can skip through, and I can see you in my analytics. I can see you skip around. I can see that not many of you stay for my waffle, so I might as well just waffle and you can skip around and I'll keep chapterizing it. Right at the end will be cover of the week, imagining if we only had pocket money for one comic. Can you imagine that? Do you remember that? Oh, we can only buy one. All right, or maybe 2. Sometimes each week I do tie on 2 comic covers. But imagine if we can only buy one comic, and it is the covers. You're looking at, it is the covers that do it. You look inside, all right, if it follows up, then you go yay. But other than that, you know what I mean. You're in the drugstore, you're in the newsagent, you're in the train station, wherever you are, picking up that comic, it's cover of the week, and it's a visceral feeling. So that's what cover of the week is all about, and it's just my little bit of fun right at the end of the video, so you can skip past that. Don't worry about me and the algorithm. In the meanwhile, shall I get on with it? So this week I am going to kick off with Incredible Hulk. Look at that beautiful Nick Klein cover. I pray to the comic gods, right, that Nick Klein could draw every issue of the Hulk, or every issue of any comic he's ever on, because I love his artwork so much. His artwork is great. In the meanwhile, I've got to admit, I've given Danny Earls a bit of a hard time over the past months, saying it was jarring, and it was jarring, going from Nick Klein to Danny Earls. They're not the same. They're not the same artist, and of course they're not. And I don't expect Danny Earls to try and copy Nick Klein or vice versa. But do you know what? Gotta say, Danny Earls. All this is a fight scene. That's all it was. Werewolf by Night turns up. Jack Russell. I love that name, Jack Russell, because it's a breeder of dog in England. I don't know if it is anywhere else in the world. Anyway, Jack Russell turns up, and a continuation. It is going on for a long while, but I think I've relaxed a bit. I think now I'm into Danny Earls' artwork, I've relaxed a bit more with this. And I can't say that any of them are bad comics, and I can't say it's a bad storyline. Is it typical Hulk? No. Something totally unexpected. It takes it further away from what you think of the Hulk that you've ever known. And I've followed him, believe me, for a good few years, because that's why I've got an OL in the middle of my name, geekyOlhog. It's because that stands for old, if you didn't know. Oh, but I'm relying on accents, aren't I? Geeky hog. And a bit like how this comic, I just laughed all the way through this because early on in the comic, there's a lot of inner monologue, and she says, and I was on my own. On page 3 or 4 of this comic, and all I could think of was Forrest Gump. So I'm sorry, Marvel. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy this comic, but now I can't get over it. I can't get over when she says sugar. I've just got Forrest Gump in my head. I've got Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, and then I was running. Oh dear, I just got Forrest Gump in my head reading that. But it was, and there is a decent there was a decent ending to that, and introducing a character that, unless you read into it and Googled it, and so, you know, like what everyone does nowadays, everyone knows what's going on 3 years ahead now, don't they? I don't. I go to the comic shop, I pick up comics I like the look of. At the end of that first issue, it's decent. It's only a little mini series. I think it's 4 issues. I wish Kerr Andrews was drawing it. They do lean into the Savage Land, scantily clad maiden aspect of it a little bit, which I quite enjoyed. A little bit of a nod and a wink to the audience, which I enjoyed. So yeah, that's why it's in my honourable mentions, top 10. This one, guys, I've been loving this, and Wade is walking a tightrope really with this one, where Robin, you could make Robin that annoying adolescent, but Wade just about, a bit like the acrobatics of Robin. I'll tell you what, Wade is on that tightrope, and it's obviously a year 1 story, but I'm really enjoying Robin in this. He's really coming across as a proper character. I don't know how else to say. I mean, Wade, for me at the moment, he can't do no wrong. He's proven himself to be, up there with the greats of superhero story writers. He really is, and that, as well as the Batman character. But to be fair, I think there's a little spotlight on Robin in this one that I'm enjoying. And because there's no spoilers here before my little scroll. But yeah, focusing on Robin is a nice touch with that I am really enjoying. Is it going to set the world on fire? No, but it's a solid book, a solid read, and this has been a solid read. And I don't know why I find it surprising. Probably because I never knew Space Ghost as a franchise, as a cartoon, as a whatever it is. I didn't buy a toy. I didn't do anything with Space Ghost until I picked up issue 1 of this. And old Peppo's in this, and is it Landau? And Nathan Lau, Jonathan Lau, right, on the art. Wow, they're just going for it. They are just going for it. Every issue. Again, is it rewriting comic book storytelling? No, but it's solid. Every month it's solid. Great writing, great characterization, great art. That's all you want. And it doesn't keep leaning into, and I'm sure there are little snippets there for Space Ghost fans. I'm pretty sure there are, but I'm not, and I'm enjoying it. So I think that says a lot. So yeah, another recommendation. And look at this franchise. Who else wants to sing Down in Fraggle Rock? I picked this up for my grandson's stash. If you follow my videos, you know I've got a new grandson. He's only 6 months, but I've got a little box down here, and I'm getting appropriate, you know, the Dynamite Studios, Darkwing Ducks and Daffy Ducks, and the What Ifs from Marvel, and blah 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 blah. I picked this up and I thought, oh yeah, I'll put that in this little stash. But do you know what? I started looking through it and I thought, oh, Dark Crystal, and the artwork's really, really nice. And Farscape. And yes, they've got a cartoony style for Fraggle Rock, the 3 stories that are in this comic. But do you know what? I can't say this is a bad, well, if it was a bad comic, it wouldn't be here. Pleasantly surprised. Surprise of the week. I'm not going to do that. And there's only so many sections I can keep doing. But yeah, do you know what? Pleasantly surprised with this one. Guys, if you like Farscape, if you like Jim Henson, you know, Fraggle Rock, you want some fun, Dark Crystal. But the artists they've put on it, and I, you know, put my hand up. I haven't read that one. But I just like the art teams that they put on that suited the style of the stories. I haven't read that one yet, so I will own up to that. You've got to forgive me. You've got to forgive me for that. But what I have read is this 5. And I'm going to do a deep dive on these. I've got, sorry, it's a long while since I've done a deep dive on I Hate Fairyland. Absolutely hilarious stuff. The penultimate issue of the storyline that I hope is good. 52% of me hopes it concludes I Hate Fairyland. 48% of me is thinking, oh, I'm sure there's another story there. Do you know what I mean? Like when you love it and you think end on a high, just end it there. Do it. Do it. It's great stuff. This was solid. Unexpected for me, like I say, because I don't Google and search the hell out of everything before it all comes out, so you know what's going on, and you know, troll the writers on social media and ask them what they're doing with a character, and that was solid. And the artwork, is it Capuccio? Yeah, Capuccio's art on that was otherworldly. And I'll show you, because we're going to do a deep dive on that. I was really impressed with some of the stuff that he's done in that. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Look at this cover. I love that. It's like the film 300, like when they've got the arrows in the shield. There's something about arrows sticking out of your hero that makes it look epic. And this is epic. This is another Battle Royale issue. I'm just thoroughly enjoying it. It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. And all the better for it. Never seen Riley Rossmo's artwork so good, including that cover. Superb. And superb artwork. It doesn't get any more super. It doesn't get a lot more superb than even Kegel on this. And this issue 2, after the setup of issue 1, you don't mind a setup that you don't quite understand. You know, I'm a patient man. I don't need to be spoon fed everything. But I tell you what, this issue 2 properly gets on with it. Ram V, he's to state the obvious, Ram V is a really good writer. And even Kegel is a really good artist. And Jesse Lonergan, I hope I've pronounced his name right. It is Lonergan, isn't it? Yeah, Lonergan. Jesse Lonergan, who did the Man's Best I think I forget what publisher that was now, whether it was Boom or Image, or whoever it was. Anyway, Jesse Lonigan, great artist, who's done a lot of, not a flash, yeah, let's call it a flashback scene, but only 4 pages, so I can't really praise him. I've praised him before, so it's down to Ram V and even Kago on this. I was very, very impressed. When these days in comic books, when the creative team gets on with it, I am very, very impressed, because the temptation is to not do that. The temptation is, and yes, I'm going to refer back to the OL in my name. The temptation is, back in the day, you would have one comic, 1 month, and there would be so much in it. Beginning, middle, end, gone. There would be an entire story. Introduce a new character, introduce the peril, introduce a new villain, then bish bash bosh, gone, done. Now, that one issue of storytelling from the 60s or 70s, and I know that's a long time ago, comic fans, bear with me, please. Don't turn me off. Bear with me. Nowadays, they have to stretch that out for a year. And they do. They go into the minutiae of what the hero's thinking, and he has a little, or she has a little, have a little meltdown. And oh my God, by issue 3 or 4, they're getting over it, and then issue 5 or 6, they're realising I've got to fight back, and then issue 8 or 9, 10, 11, oh, and then there's a big battle, 11 and 12, gone, done. 1 year late, 1 year later. Anyway, book of the week. I said cover of the week, but they've done it again. They've done it again. This would make one of the best. If Distillery I will chop my left leg off, right? If Distillery aren't packaging everything they do into film and TV licenses, right? I'll chop my left leg off. So only Distillery can answer that with a blunt axe. Anyway, I should tell you more about this rather than talking to you about chopping my leg off. Jock's artwork, as always, is a visceral thing, isn't it? And Snyder, where Snyder's writing is smooth, like he's not one of those. He's not all, he's not a raw, gritty. I'm not talking about the subject matter. I'm talking about the style. Like Snyder's writing is smooth as silk, and with Jock's artwork, delivers the punches in this story as and when needed. And again, I'm waiting for Distillery to drop the ball. They're just not doing it. I'm waiting for every time I pick up a Distillery book and I look at the names involved, even if I haven't heard of them, to be fair, because if you've had 100% success rate, I trust them. But just that little bit of cynical geekyOlhog is waiting for them to drop the ball. Not yet, and that's one of their best. And they started off, well, I think one of their very, very first was Snyder and Jock in a book called Gone. And that, brilliant. Not that it's a success, like a sequel or anything to their previous story, don't get me wrong. But they've delivered again for Distillery. And I love them all for that. The whole team involved, love them. So, if you like the sound of that and the look of that, would you like to join me after my little homemade scroll and have a deep dive on the top 5? If the answer is yes, you have got about 4 seconds to get the kettle on, or make a cup of coffee, or grab a beer from the fridge and join me. So here we go. I haven't done this for a while. I know I've resisted. It, but this continues to be so much fun. Here's Dorothy. Here's Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, all grown up with a lesbian partner. Brett Bean's artwork on this. This whole 3 or 4 page introduction into why Dorothy should go and help Gertrude in the Fairyland is, you cannot deny Scotty Young praise for his writing ability, because this was really nicely done between her and her partner, Dorothy, and this obviously unknown, who she's obviously shacked up with since the days of Toto. That's the new Toto. Now she's gone down to the shed. Oh, she's looking at this glass slippers and here we go. And now she's phoning up her mates. Look, the first one she phones up is Alice. Oh, I wonder who this is. And she's got, look, it's called the rabbit hole. She's got her own, what do you call it? I don't know what you call it nowadays without getting picked up on the YouTube algorithm. But there is a magic mushroom. There is some weed. There's gummies and pre-rolls. You know, come on in, it's legal. This is Alice in Wonderland. I love it. Absolutely love it. Look at this. Look, Mad Hatter. It's all there, but there are a lot of magic mushrooms involved. And then Alice starts going, whoa, man, yeah, I'm up for that. Look, and she starts calling all the other fantasy characters, of which I don't know them all. So now it's Battle Royale between Gertrude and happy Gertrude. What do you say I skip the whole William Wallace speech and get straight to the warring? Kill 'em all. Oh, and then what you've got next is this. It's flying, teddy bears gutting, gnomes decapitating. Oh, it's silly stuff. It's absolutely silly stuff, but I love it. Cuddly bears getting eviscerated. You get the idea. And then Gertrude's on the ropes now. Absolutely on the ropes. Even though Larry, even he's saying go to hell to old Happy. Who's going to come to save the day? Well, I will tell you. Who clicked her glass slippers? And I don't know who you can make out here. All the bears. I don't know if that's the 3 bears. I really don't know who that is. Within copyright infringement, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is or that is. There's a lot of, obviously that's Goldilocks, and that's Alice in Wonderland, and is that Peter Pan? This is Dorothy. She's got a red hood, but I don't know who that is. Anyway, you get what I mean. Anyway, that is so much fun, and that is the splash page that ends the penultimate issue. So next issue, happy endgame, part 5 of 5. Do it, finish it. Come on, guys. End on a high, and go out in style. That's what I say. And style, and not going out in style, but arriving in style is this one. I've got to say, Alessandro Capuccio's artwork on this is very, very nice, and introducing our ultimate Wolverine. This is modern day, and what this story does is it flicks between modern day, and here he is jumping out of an airplane like Captain America in one of the films that they go, oh my God, he's got no parachute. So, we've seen it all before kind of thing. But this is what I really enjoyed. Like how the shadows in the mist would be amplified, would be exaggerated in the mist. They look larger than life. I love that panel. Crossed over with the machine guns, and it was a very, very cinematic opening to a comic book series, I've got to say. Here he is, like landing, attacking, the smoke swirling. Yeah, it was a very, very moody piece. And now here we are with Nightcrawler and what's her name? And yeah, a little bit of la la la, which you've got to have. And then we're back to Wolverine, cutting people up. It was full on. To be fair, like where they red band some of their comics now and put them in a bag, which is absolutely ridiculous. This was great stuff. Look at old Colossus here. Look, with this big minigun. You know, could slice Wolverine in half. Like he's got blood on his claws. Look, he's slicing up. She's slicing up. Oh, he's slicing up Colossus. Oh, look, it's all kicking off. Look, la la la. A bit of origin in the meanwhile. A very, very moody and exciting and action-packed introduction. Love it. Get on with it. And who was the writer on this, Condon? Chris Condon. I'll tell you what, he got on with it, and I applaud it. I applaud it when writers do that, I've got to say. And this is another writer that hasn't let up, getting on with it. And look at this cover by Riley Rossmo. There's nothing better than arrows sticking out of someone, is there? You know, that old 300 vibe. Look, you know this man has gone through the crucible. And this is another all action. This is another all action issue. Riley Rossmo's artwork suits this, and I love these multi-panel layouts as well, but then he'll give us this. I love it. His art style suits this storyline so perfectly. It's such a great match. You know, not so much when he's doing humans, but everything else. Everything else, from birds to monsters, you know, to the enemy. And there is a big twist in the story in this issue. It's a beautiful thing, and it's all characters from the two humans of the story. If you haven't been following me this far, the two humans in the story, this woman and that guy, husband and wife, they're trying to save their daughter, and they're in an imaginary world. They are in their daughter's imagination. So these are her cuddly toys, and there is a beautiful cliffhanger to this issue, an absolutely stunning cliffhanger that I enjoy. I can't carry on anymore. So yeah, this is Mum and Dad working with her toys, which are obviously going to be a vibrant part of her imagination, to try and save the day, to try and get her back from, you know, out of the coma. It's beautiful stuff. Absolutely beautiful stuff. This one, guys, I know Ram V's a good writer, and I know even Cagle is a good artist. These first few pages are Jesse Lonergan, whose name you might recognise from Man's Best. I forget what the publisher was, like I said before, but then we got into even Cagle's artwork. And again, like I have praised Bilquis Evely's artwork, you just want to keep staring at these panels of artwork. You want to read the comic, but nevertheless, every now and again, not so much with Even Cagle, it's more... Anyway, he's such a great artist. But what Ram V has done here is ground the story a little bit. And obviously it's Orion dragging Mr. Miracle in, and I love this lettering. They done it last issue. They done it last issue with Orion, I think it was, but now it's Big Barda, where they've done this. I love, because what they boil it down to in these 2 pages, Mr. Miracle's been writing a letter to Big Barda saying, "Oh my God, I've got to go. I've got to help my brother out and all that. Look," and she's going, "The bleep bleep nerve of you." She's there holding the baby. I mean, who's going to argue with Big Barda? And then this for me made me laugh out loud so much. The pacing of it, the timing, as you're reading this comic, yeah, and it's all quite. It was all quite poignant in these pages, and it's all narration, as if he's writing, you know, as if you're looking at the word of the letter, and blah blah blah, and then like, oh, he's going, oh, sigh, looking at the baby, and then suddenly he's going, "You're not mad," and then you're on diaper duty forever. Flap. He gets hit by a nappy in the face. I thought that was absolutely superb. You're going from the new gods, you're going from Apocalypse and Barda and Mr. Miracle and everything else that's going on, to a diaper in the face. I love it. Love it. You can't get better than that. And then look at this artwork, even Kegel. Yes. And this is from the previous issue. And this is the baby that, you know, Orion has told Mr. Miracle he's got to go and kill, and Barda's going to join him now. And look, this is the enemy. This is our big bad. Got the mark on his head. Yes, Apocalypse. It's epic stuff. Epic stuff. A prophecy, a child, a miracle, and a nappy on the head. Oh, and over to, come on guys, and over to Book of the Week. You Won't Feel a Thing. Scott Snyder and Jock on the art duties. And this story is set, and forgive me because I can't bend, showed a bit of bush there, didn't I? I don't know if I'll get deleted off the algorithm for that. This is set back in the 70s. Our main character's early days with his girlfriend, his first girlfriend, and having a torrid night before she moved away and he went and lived their life and blah, blah. But the classic setup, a very, very classic setup, but well told. So you've got all this zipper tone bits because it's all in the 70s, and then it fades back into the modern age. Right. Set in a sleepy town in America. So now he's old now. So we're looking at his memories, and also he's being tested about his memories by his, carer, being tested about his memories. But back in the day, he worked for the FBI, and like I say, spoiler alert. The one big case that eluded him. So now he's going for an MRI. You know, he's going for all the checkups because they're saying he's losing his marbles. You know, bit of dementia and all that. You know, all the classic things. But there is one case that eluded him back in the day. Here's his mate that we see at the beginning. What's his name? Buzz. Yeah, Buzz. He's the chief of police for 20 years. He's in the home. And yeah, I mean, obviously artwork-wise, I can't really gush. It's Jock. So it is exactly what he needs to be. A little bit like Eduardo Rizzo. It's minimal. There's no flash about it. But when you match it, when you do stuff like this in the real world, you know, you probably couldn't do else like the New Gods, but he can do this. You know, Jock will ground you. And here he is back again in his memories. You know, a hot summer, lovely colouring. But yeah, there is a big bad. I'm just going to flick. There's little moments like this where you don't know if it's in his head yet. you literally don't know everything. He said, "Oh, look, the algorithm's busted now. Look, I'm not going to get monetized for this." I'm like, "Oh God, it's all gone wrong." This is the big bad. The Chatterer. Is it the Chatterer? I think he's called the Chatterer or Mr. Teeth. No, I think it's, and that's the one that got away. Anyway, that is my book of the week. Like that guy, he's in a retirement home and he's got one more case to solve. Love it. Such a simple setup, but and I'm pretty sure all the answers to the story are in this first issue. And it makes you want to read it again. Scott Snyder. Love it. Love it. So, guys, what are we going to do about Comic of the Week? Is it 300-esque? The moon is following us. Look. Doof, 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 doof. Is it Wolverine? New Age Wolverine with his claws are glistening. This Space Coast cover I thought was really nice. Look, with all the electricity and the studded gloves and glowing eyes in the darkness. You know, I'm holding on to the edge. Oh, I thought that was glorious. I also thought in its simplicity, this is glorious because that sums up the Robin in this book. But he is not a pain in the arse. He's not annoying. He's just within an inch of it. They could have been a bit braver with all of this. I don't know if they'd have kept this to what they've done there. If they'd have kept this entire cover, this entire image to what they've done there, almost done it black and white, that would have been a sensational cover. Absolutely, an absolutely sensational cover. Good old Care Andrews, or is it Car? Is it Kit? Someone was, I think it was my old mate Paul. Is it Care or Kari? I don't know, but that's a great cover. Oh, sugar, and I've still got Forrest Gump in my head. Look at that, Hulk being eaten by a giant monster, aka werewolf, and world's finest. Batman and Superman drowning. I don't know how that would ever happen. But it's a great image. With old Aquaman or Lad, whatever he's called, whatever Aqua is going on in this issue, in the background, trying to save him. But I think that's Nick Klein's artwork. There. Great. But for me, I do like Care Andrews. I do, and he will make. He's a bit like J. Scott Campbell. Look, he's all thighs, but then a tiny waist, and then maybe he doesn't do too much of a. Who's the other one? Whose name eludes me. Anyway, maybe not. Not the Batman. No, I think they lost a bit there. I think they just weren't brave. They weren't brave enough, but that's a bit static. That is static, to be fair. But do you know what? That's my cover of the week for the impact of it. You've got arrows through the leg. You've got these little dicky birds that we don't know a lot about. Oh, we've got a little crown off of Brio's head. That's the toad in the story. Machine gun, arrows, knife, or sword, whatever you want to call it. The birds, you know, in a panic. No, I love that cover, and it's a moody piece. Like in the shadow of it, that is a properly moody piece, and that is my cover of the week. And if you have followed me this far, guys, I thank you so much. I know I ramble. I only do that because I love this stuff. I absolutely love the stuff, and I thank you if you have followed me this far. If you haven't, well, there's nothing more I can say. And until next time, I will bid you all adios.